Capricorn, let us talk about the second half of November 2025 and what it is rebuilding in your world from the inside out. If you have Capricorn as your sun sign, your moon, your rising, or your Venus, this message is for you. You are no stranger to pressure. In fact, the first half of this month may have felt like a familiar weight, deadlines, responsibilities, decisions about the future people depending on you. Even when you were tired, you may have been juggling work obligations with family needs and practical concerns like money and long term security. On the outside, you probably handled it. You usually do. On the inside, there may have been a quieter question forming. Is this actually the life that I am building for myself, or am I just keeping everything from falling apart? Now, as we move into mid month, the energy begins to shift. The universe is not asking you to abandon your ambition or your commitments. It is asking you to realign them, to remember that building a solid life is not only about carrying more weight, it is also about choosing which weight is worth carrying. The second half of November is a checkpoint, a chance to look honestly at what you are investing your time, your effort, and your heart into, and to make adjustments before you go any further up the mountain. You are the long distance climber of the zodiac. You understand effort and patience better than most. You know that real achievement takes time. You know that stability does not appear out of thin air. Yet there is a risk that you are waking up to now. The risk of spending years climbing a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall mid-November is where you pause on the climb, look around, and ask your deeper self whether the direction still matches who you are becoming. And in love and relationships, this shows up in very grounded ways. Capricorn energy often expresses love through reliability. You show up, you support, you hold the line when things are hard. You may not always use a lot of words, but your actions speak loudly. You can be the rock in other people's lives, the one they lean on, the one who makes sure things get done. But underneath that steady surface, you also carry needs. You want respect. You want loyalty. You want someone who understands how much you give and is willing to give back. If you are in a relationship, the second half of November brings attention to the structure of your bond. Not just how you feel about each other on good days, but how the responsibilities are actually shared. You might notice where you are carrying more of the practical load. Maybe you handle the money, the planning, the logistics. Maybe you are the one who thinks about the future while your partner stays focused on the moment. Or perhaps you have taken on the role of the strong one to such a degree that you rarely allow yourself to be vulnerable. This period encourages honest conversations about partnership in the real sense, not just affection and connection, but teamwork. You may be guided to say, I need more support, instead of silently picking up the slack. You may speak about feeling lonely inside the relationship, even if you are physically together all the time. You may own up to the fact that you sometimes feel resentful when others treat your effort as automatic and not as the gift that it is. When you voice these truths in a calm, clear way, you give your partner a chance to rise. Many Capricorns discover that people truly do want to help, but have become used to you silently handling everything. If your partner is willing, they can step into more responsibility now, share tasks, listen more deeply, offer more emotional presence. That can strengthen your bond and bring a new layer of mutual respect. If they refuse, if they minimize your feelings or mock your need for support, that is also information. Mid-November is not here to sugarcoat reality. It is here to show you where there is a real foundation and where you have been holding up something that cannot stand on its own. If you are single this time, invites you to reconsider what partnership means to you going forward. You may have a history of being drawn to people who lean on you, people who admire your strength, but do not always match it, people who love the stability you provide, but resist responsibility themselves. You might even have told yourself that this is simply your role, that you are the builder, and others are the ones who come along for the ride. The second half of November quietly challenges that idea. You are being reminded that you are allowed to choose someone who is also a builder in their own way, someone who respects your goals and has a few of their own. someone who does not expect you to be endlessly patient while they avoid growing up, you may begin to notice that your attraction shifts. Flashy charm begins to matter less. Reliability and emotional maturity start to look more attractive, and you are also being asked to soften the walls around your own heart just a little. Capricorn can come across as guarded, even when you care deeply. You might test people before trusting them. You might stay reserved until you're absolutely sure it is safe. While that caution has protected you in the past, it can also keep potential partners at a distance. Mid-November is a good time to experiment with small openings, sharing a bit more of what you feel. Letting someone see that you get scared too. Allowing help, instead of always insisting you have it handled. Family and close bonds are part of this story as well. Many Capricorns have carried adult responsibilities since they were young. You may have been the serious one, the responsible one, the caretaker, the achiever, the one who did not cause trouble, the one who made the family proud or kept it functioning. These patterns often repeat in adult family life. You might find yourself still mediating, still supporting, still taking on more than your share out of habit. Mid-November invites you to step back and ask whether those roles are still healthy or fair. You can love your family without sacrificing your well-being. You do not have to be the answer to everyone else's problems. You do not have to show up every time there is drama. You are allowed to limit your involvement with relatives who drain you. You are allowed to create your own definition of family based on mutual respect, not obligation only. Now turn to work, career, and the bigger picture of your path. This is the area where Capricorn energy is often most visible. The first half of November may have piled on tasks and expectations, perhaps leadership opportunities, perhaps stress, perhaps both. You might have faced questions such as, how much more can I take on, and what am I actually getting in return? You may have felt the weight of being the reliable one in your workplace or business. The second half of November is the moment where career becomes less about survival or status and more about alignment. You are being guided to ask deeper questions about your work. Do I respect the person I am becoming in this role? Does this path allow me to grow, or has it plateaued? Am I building something that will matter to me in 10 years, or am I only trying to get through the next quarter? You may feel drawn to reevaluate your long-term goals. Perhaps the picture of success you once held no longer fits who you are now. Maybe you used to imagine your worth entirely in terms of position, income, or recognition. There is nothing wrong with wanting those things. But now another part of you also wants peace, health, time with people you love, and the ability to actually enjoy what you have worked for. Mid-November supports practical steps toward a more balanced version of success. That could mean speaking up for fair compensation. It could mean setting clear boundaries around working hours so you are not available around the clock. It might mean turning down a responsibility that would bring prestige, but also burnout. It could also mean quietly planning a transition to a career or business that better matches your values, even if that change takes time. Capricorn has a gift for building slowly and steadily. You do not need instant results. You just need a real plan. If there is a dream or direction that has been sitting in the back of your mind, this is a good time to start mapping it out. Research, training, saving, networking, laying the groundwork one step at a time. The second half of November can be the moment when you stop telling yourself someday and start taking small, concrete actions. Like financially, this period is about responsible empowerment rather than fear. You may look at your finances with more clarity. Income, expenses, debts, investments, goals. Some of what you see may feel daunting, yet facing it gives you power. You might create or refine a budget that matches where you actually want your life to go instead of only reacting to each month as it comes. You may decide to cut back in some areas, not from scarcity, but from strategy, so that you can invest in what truly matters over time. Capricorn energy understands delayed gratification better than most. Use that superpower in ways that serve you, not just your obligations. Saving for your own future. Building a safety net, funding education, or tools that expand your options. These are moves that honor your effort and protect your future self. Underneath all the outer achievement themes, your inner world is going through a significant shift. Capricorn is often seen as stoic, yet your emotional life is rich and deep. You simply tend to keep it under strong control. You may have learned early that vulnerability was not safe, or that emotions were a distraction from what needed to be done. As a result, you might push feelings aside until they build up as stress, heaviness, or even physical tension. The second half of November asks you to bring more kindness into the way you relate to your own emotional state. You may notice that certain situations hit you harder than you allowed yourself to admit. Maybe criticism at work echoes old memories of never being good enough. Maybe someone leaning on you triggers the feeling that your needs will always come last. Instead of telling yourself to toughen up, you are being invited to listen to what those reactions are trying to say. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to feel discouraged sometimes. You are allowed to want support and comfort. None of that cancels your strength. In fact, acknowledging these feelings can make you stronger because you are no longer wasting energy holding them back. You can then decide with more clarity what needs practical adjustment and what simply needs rest and understanding. This is a good time for quiet practices that help you process rather than push through. Even 10 minutes at the end of the day to sit in silence and check in with your body. Journaling about what felt heavy and what felt good. Taking a walk without headphones so your thoughts can settle. Letting yourself cry if tears come instead of swallowing them. These are not signs of losing control. They are signs of becoming a more integrated version of yourself. Your intuition is stronger now too, even if you often lean on logic first. Capricorn intuition often comes as a calm knowing about timing structure and people. You may just know that a situation is unstable long before it collapses. You may sense when someone is reliable, and when they only look reliable, you may get a quiet push inside when it is time to end something or to commit more fully. Mid-November encourages you to respect that inner sense. It could show up as a feeling that you cannot keep living in the exact same routine anymore, or a sense that a particular opportunity is worth the effort, even if others do not see it yet. And when your body and your deeper mind both lean in the same direction, pay attention. Your sign is gifted at building lives that last. Intuition is one of your most valuable tools in deciding what is worth that level of commitment. Spiritually, this period invites you to see your life as a sacred project, not only a series of duties. You may feel drawn to explore teachings or practices that connect discipline with meaning, meditation that fits into your schedule, spiritual reading that speaks about purpose and responsibility in a way that resonates with you, tarot or other tools that give structure to your reflection time in nature, where you can feel the long span of time and your place in it. You might also reframe your view of rest and pleasure. Capricorn can easily fall into the mindset that rest must be earned and pleasure must be justified. Mid-November is an opportunity to experiment with the idea that small moments of enjoyment actually support your productivity rather than sabotage it. A good meal shared without work talk. A movie night. A hobby that has no purpose except that you like it. These moments refill the well that you draw from when you are carrying responsibility. As the month moves toward its closing days, you may notice that you are starting to move with a bit more intention and a bit less autopilot. You might say no to something that once felt obligatory and discover that the world does not fall apart. You might speak up about your needs and find that some people are willing to adjust. You might give yourself permission to pause before taking on the next big project and actually evaluate whether it is aligned. In relationships, you may feel a shift toward mutual effort. You might see more clearly who respects your time and who assumes it is always available. You may begin investing more in the connections that feel solid and nourishing, and allowing distance from those built only on duty or old habit. In work and career, you may refine your goals so that they reflect Not just what looks successful from the outside, but what will actually make your life feel meaningful and sustainable. Remember that this Capricorn mid-month reading is only one piece of your full picture. To really understand how November is moving through your life, listen also to the horoscopes for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus signs. Your rising sign often describes the kind of outer events and themes that show up in your world. Your moon sign reveals how you experience those events emotionally and what you need to feel safe. Your sun sign speaks to your core identity and where you are meant to grow. Your Venus sign shows how love, money, and connection are flowing for you right now. When you hear all of these messages together, you see a more complete pattern rather than isolated moments. You can also listen to the signs of the people who matter in your life, your partner or someone you are interested in, your close friends, your children, your family members, even colleagues you work closely with. Understanding the energies they are walking through can change how you interpret their behavior. Instead of assuming their choices are about you personally, you can recognize that they are dealing with their own fears, pressures, and lessons. That insight can help you choose when to be patient and when to step back. When you are ready to go deeper than a general horoscope and into more personal guidance, come visit MysticBolt.com. There you will find tarot card spreads designed to help you make decisions in love, in career, in money, and in life direction. You will find astrology tools that let you explore your chart in greater depth so you can see the patterns shaping your journey. You will also discover a growing collection of spiritual and divination apps created to support you through turning points just like this one, so you have tools to lean on beyond this reading. For now, Capricorn, take a steady breath and let this truth settle into your bones. You are not here only to carry the weight of the world. You are here to build a life that honors your effort, your wisdom, and your heart. The second half of November is your invitation to refine what you are building, to choose commitments that deserve your stamina, to let go of roles that drain you, and to remember that you are allowed to climb toward a future that feels not only successful, but also deeply right for you.